Dear friends, I'm Dr. James Walker. After more than 30 years working in major hospitals across the United States, I've witnessed moments that still stay with me. Even after all these years of wearing a white coat, standing under the bright lights of the emergency room, and listening to the steady beeping of heart monitors. Moments when a perfectly healthy person suddenly collapses into a stroke. Moments when a wife, a husband, a son or daughter looks into the eyes of a loved one, not knowing if they will ever speak again, walk again, or even remember the names of the people they love. What breaks my heart the most is not the cases we couldn't save. It's the cases that could have been prevented simply by the choices we make every single day, what we eat, how we live, and what we allow ourselves to call normal. You've probably heard someone say, "Doctor, I eat normally. I don't drink. I don't do anything extreme." But according to the CDC, 80% of strokes in the US aren't caused by bad luck. They're caused by habits, by the things we repeat every day without thinking too much: salt, too much sugar, too many late nights, too much stress, too little movement, and the belief that my body will handle it. I want you to pause for a moment and picture this. You're having dinner talking like any other night, and 10 minutes later you can't hold a spoon. You try to say something, but the words won't come out. One side of your face begins to droop like it no longer belongs to you. Stroke doesn't arrive like thunder. It arrives like an hourglass, one grain of sand at a time, silent, invisible, until it's too late. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you because there is good news, something most people don't realize. Most strokes can be prevented, not with expensive pills, not with hospital machines, but with lifestyle choices, especially the foods we put on our plate every single day. In today's video, I want to share 7 everyday foods Americans eat, but few people know they have powerful stroke protective effects. And at the end, I'll reveal the foods and drinks that seem harmless, but quietly damage the heart and brain of millions every day. But before we begin, let me ask you, if changing just one meal a day could cut your risk of stroke in half, would you do it? If your answer is yes, let's continue. And if this is your first time here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because every week I share a new video to help us live longer, live stronger, and live with purpose, especially after age 50. Now, my friends, if I had to choose one food to put at the top of the stroke prevention list, I wouldn't hesitate: salmon and other omega-3 rich fatty fish, like mackerel, sardines, herring, and tuna. I know for many people over 50, eating fish sounds ordinary, even boring. But what makes salmon special isn't the taste or the prestige, it's the quality of fat it contains. The kind of fat that nourishes blood vessels, and the kind of fat most aging bodies are desperately missing. Here's a fact most people don't know. The human body cannot produce omega-3 on its own, which means if we don't eat it, our brain and cardiovascular system are left unprotected. Omega-3 reduces inflammation, lowers LDL, bad cholesterol, and helps stabilize arterial plaque, the #1 cause of blocked blood vessels and stroke. Let me tell you a story. I once treated a patient named Thomas, 64 years old, a long-haul truck driver who spent 30 years eating fast food on the highway: burgers, fries, sausages, pizza, soda. He came to me after a mini-stroke, slow speech, weak left arm, blurred vision. I asked him, "When was the last time you ate an omega-3 rich fish?" He paused, then laughed. "Probably when I was a kid, back when my mother was still alive." I gave him a new eating plan: 3 meals of salmon or mackerel per week, ground flaxseed and chia in breakfast, less red meat, no fried oils. 3 months later, he returned for a checkup. Blood pressure dropped, LDL cholesterol fell by 28%. Memory and focus noticeably improved. And he told me something I will never forget: "Doctor, I never knew one piece of fish could save my life." And I want you to remember this: not all fats are bad. Some fats, like omega-3, are the repair crew for your blood vessels. You can start very simply. Replace one red meat dinner with grilled salmon. Add olive oil, flaxseed, chia seeds to meals. Avoid deep-fried fish, go for steaming, baking, or pan-searing. That is not a diet. That is an investment in the next 10 years of your life. So let me ask you, if a food is delicious and cuts your stroke risk, why would you refuse it? If you believe your body deserves better, tap the like button and share this video with someone you care about, because one meal change could be one life saved. Dear friends, if salmon is the shield that protects the heart, then pomegranate is like the silent janitor that cleans out the plaque inside your arteries, quietly, steadily, and powerfully. Most people know pomegranate as a beautiful fruit, something we serve at Thanksgiving or Christmas. But very few realize that inside those tiny red seeds is a treasure designed specifically for the heart and the brain. Research from the University of California shows drinking just 1 glass of pure pomegranate juice every day for 3 months can reduce arterial plaque by up to 30%. The polyphenols in pomegranate help lower blood pressure, reduce oxidative stress, and increase blood flow to the brain. In other words, pomegranate doesn't just protect the heart, it protects the blood vessels that keep your brain alive. And that alone can mean the difference between staying healthy or facing a stroke. A real story. I once treated a patient named Evelyn, 69 years old, a retired teacher. She came to me with high LDL cholesterol and a history of hypertension. When I asked about her diet, she sighed and said, "Doctor, I don't eat junk food, I don't drink alcohol, but honestly, I have no idea what to eat to actually protect my heart." So I suggested something simple. 1 glass of pure, no-sugar pomegranate juice every morning. Add fresh pomegranate seeds to her lunchtime salad. Maintain the routine for at least 60 days. 2 months later, she came back, and she was the one who spoke first. "James, I don't just feel healthier, I feel younger. My blood pressure is down, my memory's better, even my skin looks brighter. I never knew one fruit could make such a difference." It wasn't magic, it was science plus consistency. Why people over 50 should eat pomegranate. Cleans artery walls, reduces blockage, lowers stroke risk. Anti-inflammatory, something older adults struggle with. Increases blood flow to the brain, improves memory. Naturally boosts testosterone in older men. Supports digestion and reduces constipation, very common after age 50. Easy ways to add pomegranate daily. Replace sugary morning drinks with 1 glass of pure pomegranate juice. Add seeds to oatmeal, salad, or yogurt. Use pomegranate instead of sugary desserts. Combine pomegranate plus blueberries plus apple for a stroke protection fruit bowl. And let me ask you, if 1 pomegranate a day can keep your heart clean and your blood vessels open, why wouldn't we start today? If you find this helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on the bell because the next food may surprise you. Now, my friends, let's talk about blueberries. If there is one fruit I always recommend to my patients over 50, it is blueberries, those tiny blue-purple gems that science calls brain anti-aging medicine. We often say your heart keeps you alive, but your brain defines your life. The scary truth is this: many people try to protect the heart, but forget that stroke is a disease of the brain. And when the brain is damaged, we don't just lose health. We may lose memory, language, emotions, or independence. Fortunately, there are foods that don't just protect the heart, they feed the brain and the blood vessels that keep it alive. And blueberries are one of the strongest. Why blueberries help prevent stroke? Rich in anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammation in blood vessels. Improve blood flow to the brain. Reduce blockage risk. Boost memory processing speed and protect neurons from aging. Naturally help lower blood pressure, the #1 stroke risk factor. Reduce LDL cholesterol and overall cardiovascular stress. A Harvard University study followed more than 93,000 people for 18 years and concluded people who eat blueberries at least 3 times per week have a 39% lower risk of stroke than those who don't. That isn't advertising. That is science proven in real people in real life. Another story from my clinic. One of my patients, Margaret, 72 years old, once suffered a mini stroke. She told me that sometimes when trying to remember a name, her mind felt like it went blank. She began to cry and said, "Doctor, I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of forgetting the people I love." I advised her to do 3 simple things. Walk 20 minutes every day. Add blueberries plus walnuts to breakfast. Reduce sugary pastries and refined carbs. 3 months later, she came back smiling. "I never thought a small bowl of fruit could change my brain like this." She even said she now eats blueberries every morning while doing Sudoku, and she feels like the brain fog is lifting. Easy ways to eat blueberries every day. Add to oatmeal or yogurt for breakfast. Mix blueberries plus strawberries plus walnuts for a brain-boosting fruit salad. Blend into smoothies with pomegranate, apple, or almond milk. Eat fresh or frozen, both keep the nutrients. Small reminder, choose fresh or frozen whole blueberries. Avoid bottled blueberry juice with added sugar. And now I want to ask you, if 1 cup of blueberries a day can help you remember your grandchildren's names longer, would you start tomorrow? If this message speaks to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because I have more powerful foods coming next, and I don't want you to miss them. Dear friends, now I want to talk to you about a food that many people overlook, whole grain oatmeal. Most people think oatmeal is just a diet food, bland, boring something you eat only when you're trying to lose weight. But what most people don't know is this. Oatmeal contains a special type of fiber called beta-glucan, which can lower bad cholesterol, clean arterial plaque, and naturally reduce stroke risk just through breakfast. And I'm not saying this because of theory, I'm saying it because of decades of observing real patients. People who eat oatmeal regularly have more stable blood sugar. LDL cholesterol drops noticeably after 6-8 weeks. They have fewer arterial plaques than those who eat white bread and pastries. They suffer less constipation and less high blood pressure, two major issues after age 50. A case I'll never forget. Michael, 57, an office worker, came to me exhausted with high cholesterol and growing belly fat, even though he claimed he didn't eat that much. I asked him, "What do you usually eat for breakfast?" And his answer was the same answer I've heard from millions of Americans: white bread plus bacon, plus coffee with cream and sugar. So I suggested changing just one thing. Replace white bread with whole grain oatmeal. Add walnuts, chia seeds, and blueberries. Do it 5 days a week. 8 weeks later, his LDL dropped by 22%. His waistline shrank by nearly 2 inches. And he said something I'll never forget, "Doctor, I only changed one breakfast, and my body feels like it started a new chapter." Why oatmeal works so well? Beta-glucan forms a gel in the gut, binds to cholesterol, flushes it out. Low glycemic index, no insulin spikes. Keeps you full, reduces cravings for sugar and processed carbs. Reduces inflammation, protects blood vessels, feeds gut bacteria, improves digestion and immunity. In other words, oatmeal in the morning is an investment in your heart, brain, gut, and longevity. How to eat oatmeal after age 50. Oatmeal plus almond milk plus blueberries plus walnuts. Overnight oats plus banana plus cinnamon. Oats plus flaxseed plus diced apple plus cinnamon. Avoid instant flavored oatmeal full of sugar and additives. Whole grain oats sure protect blood vessels. Instant sweet oatmeal sure damage blood vessels. Let me ask you this. Would you trade one sugary breakfast for 10 extra healthy years with your family? If yes, comment, "I'm ready to change my breakfast." And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell because the next food might surprise you. A type of fat people think is fattening, but science shows it is one of the best natural medicines for the heart. Dear friends, after many years of practice, I've noticed something interesting. A lot of Americans over 50 are afraid of fat. They think eating fat causes weight gain, high cholesterol, and stroke. But here's what most people don't understand. Not all fats are bad. And when you remove healthy fats from your diet, you remove one of the strongest natural shields that protect the heart and brain. And avocado is the perfect example. Why avocado is blood vessel medicine? Rich in monounsaturated fat, lowers LDL, raises HDL. Contains more potassium than bananas, helps regulate blood pressure. Packed with folate and vitamin E, protects brain cells. Natural fiber, supports digestion and controls blood sugar. Reduces inflammation, a key driver of arterial plaque and stroke. A study from the American Heart Association showed just half an avocado a day can reduce heart disease and stroke risk by 21%. Not because avocado is a miracle fruit, but because it replaces unhealthy fats like butter, cheese, and fried oils. A real story. Linda, 61, came to me worried. Her triglycerides were high, LDL rising, and she said, "Doctor, I already cut out oil and fat. Why am I still not improving?" So I asked, "What are you eating instead of fat?" Her answer, "I removed everything. No oil, no butter, no avocado, just white bread, sweet fruit, and cereal." That was the problem. She removed good fat, but kept refined carbs and sugar. I gave her a simple plan. Half an avocado plus whole grain toast plus boiled egg for breakfast. Replace mayonnaise with mashed avocado in salads. Use olive oil instead of deep frying oil. 10 weeks later, her numbers improved dramatically. She told me, "Doctor, I ate more fat and got healthier. That feels unbelievable." And I replied, "It's not unbelievable. It's science." Easy ways to eat avocado. Mashed avocado plus lemon plus pink salt. Perfect spread for heart health. Add avocado to salads instead of sugary, creamy dressings. Avocado smoothie with almond milk, plus chia seeds, no sugar. Avocado plus boiled egg plus walnuts. Ideal breakfast after age 50. Important, do not eat avocado with sugar or condensed milk that turns a superfood into a sugar bomb. Let me ask you, we've spent half our lives eating by habit. Isn't it worth spending the rest of our lives eating by wisdom? If you agree that good fats are not the enemy, they're silent protectors of the heart, comment, "I choose good fats." And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because the next food is a vegetable that looks ordinary. But the American Heart Association calls it a stroke-shielding powerhouse. Dear friends, if there is one vegetable I wish every family over 50 would keep in their refrigerator, it's spinach. Not because it's a healthy green vegetable, But because it contains two nutrients, older adults are severely lacking folate and magnesium. We often talk about blood pressure, cholesterol, triglycerides, but very few people talk about homocysteine. Homocysteine is an amino acid that, when elevated, damages blood vessels, accelerates plaque buildup, and increases stroke risk. And the folate in spinach is nature's key to lowering homocysteine naturally. It protects blood vessels, prevents clots, and reduces stroke risk. Why spinach is especially important after age 50. Rich in folate, reduces stroke risk and protects brain cells. High in magnesium, relaxes blood vessels and stabilizes blood pressure. Contains natural nitrates, improves circulation and supports heart function. Packed with vitamin K and antioxidants, protects brain tissue. Low-calorie, high-fiber, helps manage weight and blood sugar. A University of Manchester study found people who eat leafy greens at least 6 times per week have a 34% lower risk of stroke than those who rarely eat them. A patient story I'll never forget. Robert, 68, a former gardener, was once active and strong. But after retirement, he ate more meat, fewer vegetables, and almost no leafy greens. After a mini-stroke, he asked me, "Doctor, I don't smoke, I don't drink much alcohol, so why did I still have a stroke?" Instead of answering, I asked him, "When was the last time you ate a bowl of leafy greens?" He paused, then said quietly, "I don't remember. Maybe weeks ago, unless you count the green onions in ramen." So I gave him a simple but powerful change. Add 1 bowl of steamed spinach plus olive oil to lunch or dinner 5 days a week. Replace bacon and eggs breakfast with eggs plus spinach plus avocado. Add spinach to his morning smoothie with apple, pineapple, ginger. 3 months later, blood pressure dropped, homocysteine reduced, memory improved. He told me I never thought a boring green vegetable could do what medication couldn't. 4 easy ways to eat spinach without getting bored. Lightly saute with garlic plus olive oil, not deep fried, not overcooked. Blend into smoothies. You won't taste it, but you'll get the nutrients. Use in salads with walnuts, avocado, and lemon dressing. Make spinach plus eggs for breakfast a favorite among long-living Japanese seniors. Important: overcooking destroys folate. Eat it lightly cooked or raw. And let me ask you, if 1 bowl of leafy greens a day could keep you out of a hospital bed, would you start eating it today? If yes, comment, "I'm ready to add greens to my meals." And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because the next food is something cardiologists have recommended for 40 years, yet millions of Americans still ignore. Dear friends, in all my years of practice, I've met many patients who believed, if I just avoid oil and fat, my heart will be healthier. That is a dangerous misunderstanding. Not all oils are harmful, not all fats are bad. The goal is not to avoid fat, the goal is to choose the right fat. And extra virgin olive oil is one of the best fats ever studied, often called the body's natural anti-inflammatory medicine. Why extra virgin olive oil helps reduce stroke risk. Contains oleic acid, lowers LDL and raises HDL. Rich in polyphenols, reduces inflammation and protects artery walls. Helps prevent arterial plaque, the #1 cause of stroke. Naturally supports lower blood pressure. Protects the endothelial, lining the shield that prevents clots. A Spanish study of 7,000 plus people over 5 years found those who used extra virgin olive oil daily had a 41% lower risk of stroke than those who used refined oils or animal fats. That's one reason the Mediterranean diet is linked to longer life. A real story from my clinic. Patricia, 71, had high blood pressure and cholesterol, but was terrified of oil. She said, "I switched to oil-free cooking, but nothing improved." So I asked, "What do you use on your salad?" She said, "Low-fat bottle dressing, the kind with cream and sugar." That was the issue. She removed good oil, but added sugar and chemicals instead. I gave her one simple change. Use 1 to 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil daily. Remove deep frying oil, refined oils, bottled dressings. 3 months later, LDL down, HDL up, blood pressure stable, memory better. She said, "I never knew just changing oil could change my whole body." And I replied, when you give the body what it truly needs, it heals itself. How to use olive oil for stroke prevention. Use for salads, light sautéing, soups, roasted vegetables, whole grain bread. Do not use for high heat deep frying. Choose extra virgin cold pressed greenish color, natural aroma. Avoid cheap clear bottle olive oil blends. Just 1 to 2 tablespoons a day can change your cardiovascular markers. And let me ask you, if switching 1 bottle of oil could lower your stroke risk, would you make the change today? If yes, comment, "I choose extra virgin olive oil." And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because in the next part, I'll reveal the everyday American foods that are silently damaging the heart and brain. Dear friends, from the very beginning of this video, we've been talking about foods that protect the arteries, nourish the brain, and lower the risk of stroke. But if we truly want to stay healthy after age 50, eating the right foods is only half of the equation. The other half is this. We must stop putting into our bodies the things that are silently damaging the heart and brain every single day. And sadly, these harmful foods are not rare, unusual, or exotic. They're the foods we eat every week, the foods we grew up with, the foods we still call normal. But they are slowly stacking up stroke risks day after day, year after year. I'm going to speak very directly, not to scare you, but to give you the power of choice instead of living on old habits. Number 1, bacon, sausage, hot dogs, the blood vessel killers in friendly packaging. We've seen them for years in the classic American breakfast eggs, toast bacon. But blood tests don't lie. Processed meat is loaded with nitrate, sodium, and preservatives that damage artery walls, raise blood pressure, and accelerate plaque buildup. They also destroy the endothelial lining, the protective layer inside blood vessels. The CDC reported just 2 slices of bacon a day increased the risk of stroke by 42%. I once treated a 62-year-old man named Charles who said, "Doctor, it's just a hot dog breakfast. What harm could it do?" But after he had a mini stroke and half his face went numb, he cried and said, "I wish I had known this sooner." Number 2, fried fast food stroke wrapped in paper. Fried chicken, French fries, onion rings, donuts. All have one thing in common: trans fat, a man-made fat created when oil is reheated again and again. Trans fat raises LDL, lowers HDL, and triggers artery inflammation, leading to plaque and blood clots. A Harvard study found people who eat fast food 3 times a week have 51% higher stroke risk than those who eat it less than once a week. We don't need to fear food. We just need to wake up to food that's designed to be addictive. Number 3, soda and sugary drinks, liquid sugar that destroys arteries. 1 can of soda contains 3,546 grams of sugar, that's 912 teaspoons in 1 drink. When sugar hits the bloodstream too fast, it causes inflammation, destroys artery lining, and increases stroke, diabetes, and belly fat risk. A 10-year Boston University study found daily soda drinkers have 3x higher stroke risk than non-drinkers. I once asked a 55-year-old patient, "What do you drink every day?" He said, "I don't drink alcohol, but I drink 3 cans of Coke a day." I thought that was harmless. It wasn't. That was liquid sugar, the silent blood vessel assassin. Number 4, energy drinks, the blood pressure time bomb. Red Bull Monster, 5-hour energy. Not just pick-me-up drinks. Caffeine overload plus sugar plus taurine, blood vessel tightening plus dangerous blood pressure spikes. The American Heart Association warns just 1 energy drink can raise blood pressure to a dangerous level within 90 minutes. I once treated a 59-year-old man who had a stroke at work after drinking 2 cans of Red Bull, 1 large coffee. Stroke didn't happen because of age. It happened because of habits he thought were harmless. Number 5, white bread pastries, refined pasta carbs pretending to be food. The body doesn't see white bread as food, it sees it as sugar. It turns into glucose fast, spikes insulin, increases belly fat, raises blood pressure, accelerates artery plaque. Refined carbs cost fuel for heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. A patient once told me, "Doctor, I don't eat sweets, but I eat white bread every day." I didn't think it was harmful. We live in a time where people eat too many empty calories, food that fills the stomach but starves the cells. Number 6, cream-based Starbucks-style coffee drinks, the 500-calorie stroke in a cup. Black coffee, excellent. But coffee plus cream plus syrup plus caramel, 350 to 600 calories, 40, 60 green sugar, and almost zero nutrition. Many people unknowingly drink an entire day's worth of sugar in 1 cup, then wonder why they're gaining weight, why blood pressure rises, why arteries worsen. Your body doesn't care whether sugar was eaten or drunk, it pays the same price. You don't have to ban these foods forever. You just have to replace them wisely. Instead of bacon, choose grilled salmon or chicken instead of soda, water plus fresh lemon instead of white bread, whole grain bread instead of energy drink, water plus nuts plus real sleep instead of sugary latte, black coffee plus cinnamon plus almond milk instead of fast food, baked, steamed, or olive oil pan-seared meals. You don't have to change your whole life. You only need to change 1 choice a day. Stroke doesn't happen from 1 bad meal. It happens from 1,000 meals repeated the same way. Let me ask you, are you eating any of these foods every week? Which one will you replace first? Comment below. I read every comment and answer the most important questions. If this part of the video helped you and you want to continue the journey of eating to stay alive, not eating to stay sick, like the video, subscribe if you haven't yet. Turn on the bell because the final part will answer the most important question. Where do I begin if I really want to escape stroke risk? Dear friends, if you've made it to the end of this video, I want to tell you something from the heart. You're not here because you're afraid of disease. You're here because you want to live. To live longer, to live healthier, and to live with quality. Together, we've walked through three powerful truths. Stroke is not a random tragedy. It is the result of daily habits, what we eat, how we rest, and how we treat the body that carries us. 80% of strokes can be prevented, not by luck, but by choices every meal, every drink, every step we take instead of sitting still. The human body can heal if we give it the chance. That chance is hidden in a bowl of blueberries, in a glass of pomegranate juice, in a serving of salmon, in a spoon of olive oil, in a bowl of morning oatmeal, in the leafy greens we've ignored for far too long. And maybe the most important truth of all is this. Health is not something we receive from a doctor. Health is something we build with our own hands, our own mind, and our own decisions. There is one question I always ask my patients before they leave my office. I never ask them, are you afraid of dying? Instead, I ask, how do you want to live in the next 10 years? Because the truth is this, none of us get to choose how many years we live, but we do get to choose what those years feel like. Do we spend them lying in a hospital bed or walking in the park? Do we slowly forget the names of our grandchildren or sit beside them and tell stories with a clear mind? Do we depend on pills and prescriptions or stay strong and independent inside our own body? The answer is never decided on the day a stroke happens. It is decided by the choices we make long before that day arrives. So here is my message for you. Act now, not someday. Pick at least one small change from this video and start it today. Share this video with someone over 50 who needs it. Leave a comment, I'm starting today to turn intention into commitment. And if this video felt like more than information, if it felt like a wake-up call sent at the right moment, then tweet it right to his corner. Like the video so YouTube sends this message to someone who needs it. Subscribe and turn on notifications because every week I'll publish a new video to help you live longer, live stronger, and live with dignity. Leave a comment because transformation begins the moment we say it out loud. Dear friends, I'm Dr. James Walker, and I believe it is never too late to begin caring for the body that has carried you through life. Don't see this as just a video. See it as a message from the future version of you, the version who is healthier, stronger, and grateful that you started today. I'll see you in the next video. May you live long, may you live healthy, and may you live with purpose.